Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's JPR Poketrainer98 here, and around 21 years ago, the Pokemon anime debuted on our TV screens and has continued to air ever since. However, it wasn't always planned to stay on our screens for that long. The writers had planned to end it multiple times with quite a few different stories. So, as you can already guess, for today's episode of PAT, Pokemon Anime Trivia, Entity thought it would be a great idea for me to go over the scrapped Pokemon anime endings and even rumors. First of all, before we get to any of the endings, it should be stated that one of the animators for the anime, Masaaki Iwane, stated that the series was originally slated for a 1.5-year run, which corresponds approximately to the length of the Kanto region saga in the original series, had it not been delayed due to the Porygon incident. However, due to the anime's popularity during the run, the show was extended for the Orange Islands and Johto saga. In fact, the Orange Island season was essentially created to stall out time until the Gold and Silver games would be released, so the anime could then explore the Johto region. However, ever since Gold and Silver release, the franchise as a whole only kept getting more popular, so the game developers decided to keep on making more games, despite Gold and Silver having been planned as the last game in the series. This meaning the anime would continue on as well due to its immense popularity, and now it's become one of the longest running video game-based anime series, with no sign of stopping anytime soon. But back before the Orange Islands and Johto seasons got created, Takashi Shudo, the original head writer for the Pokemon anime, had planned a grand finale episode in which Ash would beat the Elite Four member champion Lance. This would even tie into the first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, in which a grown Misty, was supposedly her and Ash's child, would tell a story of how she, Ash, and Brock encountered Mewtwo. These scenes were even showcased in the very first trailer for Mewtwo Strikes Back. However, because of the popularity the Pokemon anime and games had gained, this scene in the movie ultimately ended up getting cut, while the whole story of Ash winning against Lance in the main series got scrapped completely. Another ending Takashi Shudo had planned around the Kanto saga, which got revealed in one of his blog posts, followed Ash as a dying old man and revealing that his Pokemon adventures were all a figment of his imagination. This actually being very similar to the popular Ash coma theory, the theory in which fans say that Ash is in a coma imagining the world of Pokemon. The blog post, translated by Reddit user NaveryW, stated the following: "Months of years have passed. Satoshi, who has become an old man, suddenly remembers the old days. It is an embellished memory of childhood, of fantasy, the imaginary creatures, Pokemon, and their adventure. Friendship, coexistence, that is, in the real world, something that Satoshi could never possibly encounter. However, somewhere in childhood, surely Pikachu and the other Pokemon are there. Jessie and James are there. Mewtwo is there. Not just that, everyone Ash encountered on his childhood adventure can be seen in the elderly Ash's eyes. Ash hears his mother's voice in his ear. Come along, hurry to bed. You set off on your journey in the morning, don't you?" The next morning, woken up by his mother, Ash, once again in the form of a young boy, energetically rushes out of the house. This is a search, not to catch a Pokemon, not a journey to become a Pokemon master, but to discover what I am, a journey with the goal of coexisting with others. End quote. As you hopefully saw, this would have meant that the Pokemon anime would have ended on a quite surprisingly depressing note. Everything revealing to just simply be a fantasy, a dream. Jumping into the Johto saga, there were two other planned grand finale episodes. The first finale idea was Ash simply defeating Gary in the finals of the Pokemon League and becoming a Pokemon Master. But of course, like I stated earlier, with the success of the Pokemon Gold and Silver games, the whole franchise only kept getting more popular, so both the anime and games had to continue on. This finale episode idea was just reworked into Ash defeating Gary in the top 16 of the Silver League, and then losing to a character called Harrison with a Blaziken in top 8, then inspiring Ash to go back to the basics and travel to the new Hoenn region. As for the second idea, Takashi Shudo revealed in another one of his blog posts that he had planned a story in which Pokemon start revolting against humans that force them to battle, Ash's Pikachu being the leader of all this, while Team Rocket's Meowth would be an ambassador. The blog post, translated by the amazing Cerebi forum user Defender, stated the following: "I thought about writing a fourth movie as well, but I couldn't come up with anything. If I was going to write one, it had to be something along the lines of the Pokemon rebelling much like the Spartans did in the Roman era. The Pokemon noticing that even though at first glance it seems like they are friends with humans, they are usually being used as slaves. Pikachu becoming their leader, Pikachu ending up in a situation where it has to fight against Ash, and then the Team Rocket trio with their affection for hopeless Pokemon, which includes Meowth, capable of translating Pokemon speech into human speech, playing a major role while also providing half-hearted transitions during the battle, which I personally assumed would be the final story of the Pokemon anime franchise. However, a story like this, one that goes against everything the Pokemon anime is, wouldn't have been possible to do as long as the Pokemon anime was still going to air. If we were going to do a story like this, it would have literally had to have been the final story in the show. Try as you might, you won't be able to come up with another story in the show that does anything along these lines." End quote. After this, Takashi even went on to talk a little bit about his plans for Meowth's character, which would have led up to this story. Quote, "Even though it's told as a flashback, the episode that reveals why Meowth can talk human language, Meowth's ABCs, got thought up as far back as it was when it was first decided that Team Rocket's Meowth would be able to speak human language. Team Rocket's Meowth ended up becoming a very unique creature despite technically being a Pokemon of the Meowth species. One that tried to become a human, but didn't actually become one. In a sense, he was a creature similar to Mewtwo, who is a cloned Pokemon, and because of this, he'd be playing a major role in the final story, feeling like his purpose in life was to meditate the battle between humans and Pokemon. Meowth's ABCs was meant to foreshadow all this." End quote. As you can see from everything that's been stated here, the Pokemon anime would have had quite the bizarre ending. That concludes all the confirmed original endings. However, to end this video off, we're going to take a look at two popular rumors that have spread around the internet for many years now, and those are the rumors that Ash was meant to win the Sinnoh League and even the Kalos League, which would then ultimately end the Pokemon anime as well. Please bear in mind though, these are just rumors and theories, none of this is confirmed, unlike the endings that we explored earlier. Starting with the Sinnoh League, many fans speculated that Ash was originally meant to win this league because of 3 reasons. The first reason is that unlike every other Pokemon series, this one developed the idea of the Champion League, which the Champion League is basically the Pokemon leagues we challenge in the Pokemon games, the Elite Four, and the Champion. Which most fans found it weird that they would pay so much focus on it this time around and do nothing special with it. The second reason is because the Pokemon games are going to do some kind of reboot in Generation 5, so if that was the case for the game, surely they would have ended Ash's journey in Sinnoh and get a new protagonist for the somewhat anime reboot. Though of course this never happened. And the third reason is because Ash was the most developed he's ever been and had such a powerful team, or at least the most powerful one until Kalos would come around. So altogether, the fans believe that the writers were planning for Ash to win this league, however the higher-ups did not allow this. Moving on to the Kalos League, the same development and team reason stands, although the one thing that gives this rumor in theory a little more justice than the Sinnoh League is the fact that some of the animators expressed their disappointment online regarding Ash losing the Kalos League, such as Mizaki Iwane, who stated that the story was pointing to Ash winning and having him lose all the time wasn't a good idea. The animator Aito Ohashi also asked on Twitter why can't they let the kids have dreams, so because of this, it's speculated that executive meddling got in the way once again. But regardless of whether these league rumors are true, we do know now that it looks like we won't be saying goodbye to the anime anytime soon. Entity will even be making a future PAT episode theorizing with evidence why the Pokemon anime has been holding on to Ash's character for such a long time, not providing us with a new face for any of the later anime series. That concludes today's episode of PAT. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, then be sure to consider leaving a like and share if you're new here. Subscribe on this channel along with hitting that bell icon to stay in the loop with all things Pokemon anime related. If you like the sound of my voice, then I also have a Pokemon channel called JPR Poketrainer 98 where I make all sorts of Pokemon content. You can subscribe to me by hitting my channel icon shown on screen. Thanks for watching everybody, and I'll catch you later.